Hello everyone! Today we have a very special story about a boy who was so lazy that even the birds in the fields laughed at him. Yet in the end, he became an inspiration to the whole kingdom. By listening to this story, we'll not only enjoy a beautiful adventure, but also learn new words and practice how to use them in sentences. So stay with me until the end because this story is going to surprise you. Once upon a time, in a small, quiet village surrounded by green rice fields, there lived a boy named Ryan. He lived with his parents in a tiny mud house at the edge of the town. Ryan was known by everyone in the village for one thing: his laziness. When his friends played football, Ryan would lie under a tree saying, "Why run after a ball when you can just watch the clouds move?" When his mother asked him to fetch water, he would grumble, "Why carry heavy pots when the river is already flowing?" Even though Ryan was lazy, he was not foolish. In fact, he was quite smart. Every day he helped his father in the fields, but his work was only to chase away the birds that came to eat the rice crops. Most boys used sticks, stones, or slingshots, but Ryan didn't want to run around all day. So he came up with a clever idea. He placed wooden poles in different corners of the field and tied ropes with tins and cloth pieces. Whenever he pulled the ropes, the tins made noise and scared the birds. This way, Ryan could lie under a tree, pulling the ropes with just his fingers while eating mangoes. The villagers laughed and said, "Ryan is the laziest boy in the kingdom." But Ryan only smiled and thought, "Lazy? Maybe, but I still finish my work." Ryan's father, however, was not so relaxed. He worried deeply. If one day I fall sick, how will Ryan take care of the whole field? He doesn't even like walking more than 10 steps. But since Ryan always somehow got the job done, his father never scolded him too much. Then, one summer, disaster struck. The sun was burning hot, the ground cracked from dryness, and Ryan's father fell very ill. Now Ryan had to take care of the entire field alone. At first he tried. He carried water, he weeded the plants, he worked under the sun. But he was not used to such hard labor. His hands got blisters, his back ached, and his legs trembled. After a few weeks, the crops began to dry up and die. Ryan sat outside under the stars one night looking up at the sky. His eyes were wet as he whispered, "Why didn't I ever try harder? Why did I waste my time lying around? Now my family's hope is gone." The very next morning, the village was buzzing with noise. A soldier had arrived at the marketplace, shouting, "Hear ye, hear ye! By the order of the king, a grand competition will be held at the royal palace. The winner shall receive a chest of gold." The villagers gathered around excitedly. Ryan too listened, and his heart beat faster. Gold? If I win, I can save my family, rebuild the fields, and prove to everyone that I'm not useless. The villagers laughed at him when he said he wanted to join. Ryan? Competing? He can't even walk to the river without complaining. But Ryan ignored their laughter. His parents, though weak and worried, gave him a small bag of food and said, "Go, my son. Even if you don't win, maybe you'll learn the value of hard work." So Ryan set off on the 3-day journey to the palace. After 3 days, the competition began near a huge lake. Hundreds of strong young men had gathered, muscular, tall, and fearless. Ryan felt nervous looking at them. The king's guard announced the rule. To qualify, you must cross this lake. The first 3 will move on to the next round. The countdown began. 3, 2, 1, go! All the participants jumped into the lake, splashing and swimming as fast as they could. But Ryan, he just stood there. "There's no way I can outswim these people," he thought. Then suddenly, an idea struck him. He ran into the nearby forest, found broken branches, and tied them together with vines. He made a small raft and used a thick branch as a paddle. The crowd laughed. Look at Ryan, too lazy to swim, so he's floating like a log. But Ryan didn't care. He paddled slowly, saving his energy. One by one, the swimmers grew tired, splashing and struggling in the deep water. Ryan calmly floated past them. In the end, he finished third place and qualified for the next round. The villagers were shocked. The next day, the final competition began. Each contestant was given a giant wooden block. The rule was simple. Push your block 1 kilometer to the finish line. You may choose only one tool from behind you to help. The first contestant quickly grabbed a rope and pulled with all his strength. The second used a wooden lever to move the block inch by inch. But Ryan did not rush. He walked slowly, studying the tools. Then he picked a small knife. The crowd burst at laughter. A knife? Is he going to fight the block? Foolish boy! But Ryan only smiled. Instead of pushing the block, he began carving it. Hour after hour, he shaped it into something rounder, smoother, until finally it was no longer a block, but a giant wooden ball. Now, instead of dragging a heavy square, Ryan rolled the ball with ease. He caught up to the others, passed them, and with all his determination, crossed the finish line first. The crowd went wild. The king himself stood and clapped, saying, "Young man, you have shown us that cleverness and hard work together can achieve wonders. The chest of gold is yours." Ryan returned to his village not only with gold, but with new wisdom. He understood that laziness may give small victories, but only hard work mixed with intelligence brings true success. From that day on, Ryan still used his brain to solve problems, but he also learned to work hard for the sake of his family. And so, the lazy boy became a hero. Now, before we finish, let's practice some words from this story. Lazy. Unwilling to work or use energy. Sentence. Don't be lazy. Finish your homework first. Raft. A flat structure made of wood for floating on water. Sentence. The fisherman built a raft to cross the river. Carve. To cut wood or stone into a shape. Sentence. The artist carved a bird from a block of wood. Determination. The quality of never giving up. Sentence. With determination, you can achieve your dreams. So, my friends, this story shows us that even if someone is lazy, with a strong reason and a clever mind, they can change their life. If you ever feel lazy, find a big reason. Maybe your family, your dreams, or proving others wrong. That reason will push you to work harder than ever. Remember, learning English can also be fun when you practice with stories like this. So keep listening, learning, and growing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.